All right, I think we can begin. So welcome everybody. I see lots of regulars, a few first timers, but mainly regulars. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our weekly gathering, United for Ukraine. And as you know, we typically start by opening the floor. So if anybody wants to say anything or sing anything, you'll have a chance when we open the floor. And it's a chance for people to just share what's on your mind. That's the first segment. If you have a question, a comment, an observation, we open the floor. Then we have the next segment where we typically have our Ukrainian family share with us some of their thoughts. Typically, any guest speakers will speak in this second segment. And then the third segment, we open the floor again, and we can react to the presentation, or we can share feelings, thoughts, anything. So that's it. The most important thing is that we come together once a week, we do not forget, and we continue to be united for Ukraine. As you know, we kick off always with the Ukrainian national anthem. I will stand, and you're invited to stand with me if you want, but let's start with the national anthem, then we start the program. Thank you so much.
Ні слава, ні воля, ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля, згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці. Запануєм ми, браття, у своїй сторонці, душу й тіло ми положим за нашу свободу і покажем, що
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so the floor is open. Let's get some hands. Where do we go first? I saw a couple of hands at the same time. That's the way to go. Okay, why don't we go with Mihaki? Then Raphael, is that okay? Mihaki?
Hi guys, how are you? Thank you so much for coming United for Ukraine to the end. And today's session, I'm telling you, it's going to be an intense one for me especially. So thank you so much, Danka and team, for compiling that on a very short notice because I was demanding on chat. It's time we learn about the children. That is our future. That is how sustainability comes in. So I'd like to say thank you so much. Thank you, Danka, Oksana, for even coming to the Smile Child event and talking about Ukraine. We have our Smile Child coordinator, it's called Oscar. We agreed that we come and listen in and then we go and share with the rest of our members on what we're talking about. So guys, as I always say, never get tired, victory is coming. And today we're going to be listening more about the children of Ukraine. And I'm excited and sad at the same time because this is time to take action. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mihaki. Thank you. Raphael, you got the mic.
Yeah, just like Mihaki, this week's talk impacted me just by being of the same education. Because how can education still live in this, like, in a place where war is, people are desperate, and even like all focus on these problems that is happening on Ukraine? How can education still be alive and strong? And what's going on with this kind with the education? How the teachers are like doing their best in the children to learn, to engage in their dreams in the future. This like move a lot my heart. That's why I want to learn from you what's going on and how the education is still living and strong. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I guess let's see. Zaliha, you got the mic? Oh, Lely, don't worry, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for calling my name. I would like to welcome everyone here. Thank you for being here. And also, I would like to appreciate everyone that attended our session for United for Ukraine last week. Thank you, Danka, for accepting our invitation. And also, so many people here where I am and doesn't know that the fight is still going on. But I'm so much happy that many people are aware and they have interest to continue pushing and on social media and all of that. So thank you very much. I'm so much happy to be here, coupled with the fact that it's about children. I'm a child advocate, so I'm really happy to be here. We indeed support Ukraine. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, I think I will do, let me take Dr. Bamlak and then Auleli. We know she's got something special for us. So Dr. Bamlak, you got the mic?
Thank you, Yami. How are you guys? Danka, Yami, everybody. Thank you again, Yami, for giving me this opportunity. Today, I would like to share you about the importance of praying in such kind of occasion. So in this time, we hear so many bad news regarding with this situation, especially the war between Ukraine and Russia. And we know politics is one of the most advanced game that politicians are played with their false attitude or for their false perspective or for their own interest, right? They sacrifice whatever they need. They don't care about kids, innocent civilians, government, peace. They perform their own best to make an impact regarding with their own thoughts. So in this occasion, what I would like to share for the United People Global Sustainable Leaders and for today's participants, the importance of praying and connecting with God. It's very important to connect with your God, especially in such kind of occasion, guys. I really believe that all of you have your own religion. Some of you are Christians, some of you are Muslims, but it's better to pray in this time. We shout our deep sorrow for our Lord. That makes a difference at the end of the day. So this is what I would like to share you as an introduction for you guys. Thank you, Yami, again for giving me this opportunity, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Very, very important. As we say very often, we need to pray for some kind of intervention in this crisis. Because frankly, there's only two ways it's going to stop. Either those with the power, the military power, intervene. That includes Russia or a lot of the Western nations. It's either them or God or both, right? But since they don't seem to have the courage to enforce the peace, at least not yet, then we have to pray for God to work his wonders. So thank you for bringing that to the fore. At this point in time, I'd love to go to Auleli. So she's got something special for us, I believe. So you got the mic.
Thanks, Gabby. It's a very special day for me. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Do you need any kind of back-end support or you're good?
I'm good. I got my guitar, so I'm good. All right. So it's a very special day for me. Hello, everyone. It's a very special day for me because today is actually my dad's birthday. And he's actually in my hometown. I'm in the capital city. So as I actually learned this song actually just 2 hours ago, it reminds me of those fathers in Ukraine who's actually fighting for the country. So this song is especially for them and all the husbands who are in the war, and Slava Ukraini as always. Okay, so by the way, Oksana and Danka, I'm so sorry if my spelling is not so good, okay? I tried. Okay. Ою luzi czerwona kalina pochyliłaся, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася. А ми тую червону калину підіймемо. А ми нашу славну Україну, гей, гей, розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася. Чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася. А ми тую червону калину підіймемо. А ми нашу славну Україну, гей, гей, розвеселимо. Thank you, everyone.
Yay, amazing. Amazing, so beautiful. Can we show her some love? Why can't you guys unmute? That was beautiful, really beautiful.
Amazing!
That was amazing.
It's really nice.
That's really
Andres are wonderful.
amazing.
you.
Thank you. Oh, so powerful. Thank you, and beautifully sung too. I'm not Ukrainian, so Danka, Oksana, you want to say something?
It was amazing. Like your pronunciation is so good. Yeah, and when you sung this scene, I just the idea appear in my mind. Guys, anyone who want to say song is Layli do it, you can do it, and I can make a short video like with your songs and send me, like I guess I will share a link later where to better to send these songs, but if you want, we can make this like one video and then share in social media. Yeah.
Yes, I think it's a powerful idea. Alayli, that was so beautiful. All right, so thank you. We will play the song shortly, but let's take two more hands and then we transition, okay? Welcome, Judith. Hey, all right. If I may say so, your hair is looking lovely. I paid Danka the same compliment earlier.
You say that to all the women.
No, only you and Danka. All right, but it is, I mean, the regulars can back me up. Fair enough. So I think I wanted to go to Etienne and then Edith. Etienne, you've got the mic first.
Thank you so much, Yemi. Thank you, everybody. Good evening from Nigeria.
Good evening.
Lily, happy birthday to your daddy. Thank you for such an amazing presentation. So today, I saw today's posters on my friend's timeline, Wihaki's timeline, and I was shocked at first because I have never seen children and war in one sentence before. It has always been children and happiness, children and play, children and human development. But seeing children and war, I was not only interested in the session today, I knew it was going to be an intense one for me because children should not be associated with war. So I want to appreciate everyone for coming today. I believe that we are all gathered for the love we have for children first, and for the love we have for Ukraine, and for the love we have for the world. So I want to encourage everybody to continue to ensure children and the Ukrainians in your hearts. Continue to pray for them. I was supposed to share almost the same thing Dr. Bamlak shared. So I'll just go ahead to support what he said. Keep the faith. Keep ensuring us, everyone, in your prayers. It's so amazing to meet everyone here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Etienne. Edith, you got the last word.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I'm so excited to be here among us, like to be here with us today again. And it's actually awesome. We're talking about children, like the thought of children being involved in this war, you know, getting to get injury or many of them dying in this war. It's actually really, really terrible, you know. And I'm happy we are talking about this today. It's really awesome that we get to see people come around to actually get to hear about this, and the world too also get to know about what is happening. You know, sometimes if we're talking about negotiation, that's the way out, diplomatic negotiation and all. And I begin to wonder what's keeping both parties from going into this negotiation. Who is actually benefiting from this war? You know, many of these things keep ringing in my heart. And it's actually awesome we are talking about children, and children cannot just be entangled in this war. I don't know, but then it's really bad that we get to hear cases of children getting injured and all. So thank you so much for organizing this session for us to talk about children and war. Thank you so much. I look forward to having a wonderful session. Thank you.
All right, thank you all so much. So we transition. For all those who want to speak, you will get your turn the next time we open the floor. Okay, so now we're going to transition. Thank you all. And sorry, and there we go. Oh, I think we're good. So I promised you I'd play that song, the song that Auleli played. I'll play it now. And I'll play a version that has a child singing at the end, okay? So you're going to hear a child's voice right at the end, but it's adults first.
Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну гей-гей розвеселимо. Ой, у лузі червона калина похилилася, чогось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну гей-гей розвеселимо.
Here comes the child.
Тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну гей-гей розвеселимо.
All right, beautiful. Thank you all so much. I can see you singing or dancing along. At this time, I'd like to transition to our Ukrainian family. Danka, Oksana, let us know how you would like to start.
Yeah. Before we start, guys, a few seconds ago, before Yemi plays the song, I just created link for this link. I could repeat it one moment. For this link, guys, you could download your video for about Червона Калина. I will also put like some instructions for you, and you can do it both like in English language and in Ukrainian language, as Layli did. Like, and then I guess we create some video, and maybe in next sessions of United People Global United for Ukraine, we will show you this video. Just like idea, but I hope it will realize. Yeah. Yep. And maybe about this song, maybe not of you do not know the translation, but the thing is, it's like Червона Калина is kind of our traditional symbol, like plant, and Червона Калина like fall down, and our Ukraine becomes sad, but we will raise Червона Калина and we will make happy our Ukraine. It's like short translation. For me, I didn't check it. Sorry, but we will check with Oksana and send you like full translation later.
But that is correct. I also have a version where they sing it in English, and they sing it in French, and they sing it in German. So we can play that before we close today. So
Yeah.
you hear it. But everything Danka said is the translation.
Yes, Sergey, for checking. Yeah, so today we will go to topic like so touchful, and I know many of you wanted to learn more about this topic. It's how war in Ukraine affect children, and today with you will be Oksana and me, and also we will have guest speaker who will join to us a little bit later. He is a teacher in one of Ukraine school in Kyiv region, and he will tell more about how children is studying during the war, how they feel the war by themselves. And I think I could share my screen. One moment. Yes. Okay. Yeah, do you see my screen? I hope you see. Yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay, this is okay. So today with you is, as I mentioned, Oksana and me, but our colleagues Irina and Alexandra also help create this presentation. And we start with a weekly newsletter as usually, and I think I will go. One moment. I will go shortly. So what is happening in Ukraine right now? I guess many of you already know about Mariupol, like the city in the south of Ukraine in the Donetsk region. Unfortunately, the full city for now is occupied by Russia. And advisor to Mariupol Maria Petro Andrushenko said that on June 8, there is a catastrophic lack of medical staff in the city. Moreover, Russian occupying forces persuade locals who like over 18 years of age to come back to work at a hospital. They like force locals to work, and like for now about 100,000 Ukrainians remains trapped in blockade Mariupol without like food, water, like clean water, like for drinking, and other facilities. Zelensky, our president, said that more than 2,500 Mariupol defenders. We mentioned about Mariupol defenders in previous session, if you remember. So they are in Russian captivity, and our president said that it's not an interest of Russia to torture the defenders of Mariupol, because for now they become a public prisoners, which means that for now whole world knew about defenders of Mariupol, and like not only Ukrainians, not only Ukrainian political and governments do something to like freedom, liberate them from Russian captivity. Another thing is news about Kherson region, Kherson Oblast, which is also occupied by Russians now. Ukrainians Operation Commands South, like Pivden, said that on June 8, due to the lack of medicine, it is difficult to threat injected civilians in Kherson Oblast. And unfortunately, many civilian houses and infrastructure has been damaged. Another thing also, and what is like more important, so for now, Ukrainians who live in occupied by Russians region, especially in Kherson Oblast, they don't have opportunity to be evacuated to Ukraine. They only chance like to get out from Kherson region to them is like cross the border with Crimea Peninsula, which is occupied by Russia from 2014. Another thing that Ukraine and Russia exchanged bodies of fallen soldiers, and it was according like 50-54 formula. So that means that like equal amount of bodies was exchanged. And as far as I know, it's like the first big official bodies exchanging. So out of this 50 bodies of soldiers, there were 37 defendants of Azovstal. I guess many of you already hear about Azovstal and these like terrible things which were in Azovstal. So for now, 37 fallen Ukrainian defenders, their body are in Ukraine. Another news, yeah, it's like more optimistic. Ukrainian tennisist player Elena Svitolina joined the United 24 initiative as ambassador. And what is like United 24 initiative? It's like a platform dedicated to collecting charities funds in order to support Ukraine. And Elena Svitolina, he will work together with Ukrainian football player Andriy Shevchenko, like as ambassador. And also it's important to mention that during like first 4 weeks of United 24 activity, more than $52.5 million was collected to cover Ukrainians' need. And another like sharing activity is that Zelensky Vyshyvanka. If you had what is mean Vyshyvanka, you can see it on picture. It is like our traditional Ukrainian embroidery, and Zelensky Vyshyvanka was sold like for $100 $100,000 at a charity auction. And this it is also a part of United 24 initiative. Yep. And then another news. Okay. During the speech of Charles Michel, it's like UN Secretary Council, like European Council President, he said that unfortunately now Russia use food supplies as a threat missile against developing countries. And I know UPG have lecture sessions dedicated actually to agriculture, about like food security. But for now, we see that how like our food not our but world food security connected with war in Ukraine. So the thing is that Ukraine, before the full-scale invasion, Ukraine produced so many wheat, so many products abroad, grain. And for now, because of full-scale invasion, Russia blocked Ukrainian exports, and that is like a really beginning of food crisis. Another news is that Latvia, like the country in Europe, banned like all Russians TV channels until the end of war in Ukraine, and it is about 80 TV channels. And you could like imagine 80 just after this session. Guys, just check how many Russians TV channels do you have in your country. But Latvia banned 80 of them. And the thing is that, like, Vimoha, they said that they will, like, not only they will become banned, not only the ending of the war, but till the returning occupied Crimea Peninsula to Ukraine. Another news, I will try to go quickly. Oh, okay. Something was wrong with photo, but unfortunately for now, like Russia still destroying Ukrainian school. Russia shellings, Russia airstrike inject civilians, and according like to official data from Ukrainian ministry, Interior Ministry, the Russian airstrikes in Bakhmut, in Donetsk, they destroyed like school, completely destroyed, and you can see how it's connected with studying with children. The number of casualties is still unknown. In Kharkiv region, which is in the eastern of Ukraine, Russian soldiers, actually, Russian shellings killed like 5 civilians and 20 people are injected like in past 24 hours. Oh, sorry. How should I do it? Okay. Something goes wrong. One moment. I will finish in my 1 moment. Sorry, guys. Yeah, and the thing is that the same situation we see not only in Bakhmut, but also in Kharkiv and Kyiv region. Yep, you can see my screen, yes or no?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, we
Sorry. Yeah, now I guess you could see my screen. Yeah. And even hospitals are attacked by Russia. And I guess it's all from newsletter from me. And for now, we will go deeply actually for our topic, how the war in Ukraine affect children. And I think I should pass the word to Oksana. Oksana.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I will start with the crimes against children in Ukraine. As you see in the slide, as of today, 263 children have been killed and 488 children were injured. Actually, this data is not precise because we don't have the information about what is going on the occupied territories. Russian authorities, they do not share this information, so we can only predict what is going on there. Next slide, please. And now we're moving to another war crime, which is rape. We have discussed it several times, right? This topic during our sessions, and just recently, yesterday, the president of the European Council, Charles Michel, at the UN Security Council, stated that. Yet, as we speak, we hear reports of Russian forces wielding sexual violence as a weapon of war. Sexual violence is a war crime, a crime against humanity, a tactic of torture, terror, and repression, shameful acts in a shameful war. And this must be exposed to the light of day and prosecuted without impunity. Unfortunately, this also concerns children. We do not have the statistic of children raped by Russian forces in Ukraine, since, again, it is impossible to identify the cases that take place in the occupied and currently occupied territories. Further, many people, they just refuse to witness on such crimes. But even those facts that have been already established and revealed are more than terrifying. Now I will share some pieces of information about these kind of war crimes that we have decided not to put on slides. But still, this is something that you have to know, something that the media is considered to be sensitive content, and it is. But when next time someone complains you about high prices due to sanctions imposed on Russia, or too much money allocated to the support of Ukraine, or someone claims that Europe has to push Ukraine to agree to any Russia's conditions in order to come back to normal life with cheap gas and oil, you will know what to answer. You will know what the political leaders know, because they know in details what Russian troops are doing to our children. But even some of them are still hesitating and keep calling Putin to save his face, while I think that there is nothing to save. So on May, Ukraine's former commissioner for human rights, Lyudmila Denisova, you can find her page on Twitter and read a lot about them. So she reported on some cases of Russian soldiers raping and killing children in Ukraine. In one case reported by the residents in the village of Oleksandrivka, which is near the southern Ukrainian city of Kherson, which is currently occupied now. 2 girls aged 12 and 15 were raped by Russian troops. In another incident, an infant girl of 6 months was raped with a spoon. In another case, twin toddler boys, 2 years old, were sexually assaulted in front of their mother. 5 Russian soldiers broke in and 4 of them raped the toddlers in pairs, while the 5th soldier was holding the mother to make her watch. Both children died of reproaches and blood loss. In another case of sexual violence, a 3-year-old toddler boy was raped in front of his mother by 2 Russian soldiers. This child also died of injuries and stayed in the brutal assault. In several cases, the raped girls stated that Russian soldiers told them they were going to rape them till the moment they can be sure that the victims would never have sex with any man in the future. Denisova, Ukrainian ombudsman, claimed that Russia uses rape and sexual violence in other forms as warfare tactics, systematically everywhere and with shocking brutality. And yet, that's not all what they do. Danka, please move to the next slide. So according to the Deputy Interior Minister of Ukraine, Katerina Pavlichenko, at briefing in Kyiv on 3rd of June, there is an information that at least 234,000 children crossed the border from Russia. So they were forcefully taken out of Ukraine. That is, these children have been deported and illegally displaced. Again, due to refusal of Russian authorities to give any official information, the fate of these children is currently unknown. The independent journalists from Sledstvo.info conducted their own investigation on the deportation of Ukrainians to Russia, and in accordance with their information, the Russian Orthodox Church played and plays a crucial role in the forced displacement of Ukrainians, including children. So this is no longer the secret that in Russia, even the church is under control of FSB. The survived witnesses, Danka, come back. The survived witnesses from Mariupol stated that Russian forced Ukrainians before deportation, Russian soldiers forced Ukrainians to go through the so-called filtration procedure in the filtration camps that are currently established on the occupied territories. So these are the places where the children, Ukrainian children, are separated from their parents, and then the children are forcefully transported to different regions of Russia, while what concerns the fate of their parents and what is going on inside these filtration camps, we discussed actually in the last event, and you can find the presentation with all the links on the website. And now I'm giving the floor to Danka, who will share some information about the organizations and how they help children, the organization in Ukraine and how they help children during this war. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Oksana. Yeah, next part of our presentation actually is about some organization in Ukraine which help children, but there are many of them actually, guys. And as I said, we will share this presentation after our meeting, and not after, during our meeting in chat, so we could check this organization, check all links, and learn more. So the first organization is Children's of Heroes. This organization is like is a charity foundation, and the mission of this organization is to support orphans, if I pronounce it correctly, of Russians, Ukrainian war by blanketing them with care, warmth, and security. And for now, this organization, you could see like results of this organization. This foundation takes care about 235 families, and 103 families have already received prior financial assistance. Like 38 families like already have like some financial assistance in amount of $1,000 from partner organization. And another thing that this organization works with children, with helping them, with giving them some psychological help. So it's also important because you could imagine what these children like relive. So for now, 23 children like works with psychologists. And here you can learn more on the official website of Children of Heroes Foundation. You can donate, but you also could become a volunteer. So there is like two kinds of volunteering help. It's like agent, for example, give some clothing or psychological help or some products, and also long term. So you could be like a mentor, or like you could provide some educational training for those children. The application is available both in Ukrainian and in English language. So if you're interested, you can check this. Also, non-financial help. For now, organization is looking for some psychologists who help like Ukrainian children. And I'm not sure if yeah, I already mentioned it, but as important facts why it's like children's of heroes, because heroes is our Ukrainian defenders who actually unfortunately died. And another next slide. Another organization, it could be known for some of you. It's Ukrainian education platform, and by the way, this organization is on the list of UPG Goodwill Wow. You can find this organization and learn more or even donate. Thank you, UPG, for this, by the way. Yeah, this organization was actually established in 2011, and the main like prayer was to help children in some education process, but unfortunately, because full-scale invasion, this organization concentrate on some activities which help children during the war, not only in education, but at first in surviving. So there is like three areas, main areas, leadership and ministry. The thing is that it's kind of support centers throughout Ukraine, and in these support centers, families and children, they could give like they could have some assistance, some sources, yeah, some help from local volunteers. Another thing is community for families. It's like initiative which works on providing like some help for families and with children who unfortunately like leave their houses, displaced persons. And another initiatives, like another area of activity of Ukrainian education platform, it is building Ukraine together. And by the way, this organization, not organization, this initiative building Ukraine together was established like in 2014. I was a volunteer of this organization. Before the full-scale invasion, we work on creating some public spaces, improving city infrastructure. But for now, building Ukraine together, focused on building like long-term housing for Ukrainians displaced person, and also help, and also it's due to some volunteering camps. So volunteering are gazing together in one city and provide some help and provide some building activities. Yes, and I will not like concentrate in this slide so long. You can see on numbers how many children's they help, like more than about 500 take part in non-formal education classes. Also, this organization help people to evacuate from Donetsk and Luhansk region. It's in the east of Ukraine, and other activities. Next slide, I guess. Yeah, another organization is Voice of Children, and you can the motto of this organization is that not a single child in Ukraine should be left alone with the war. And it's like extremely important for us. And you can check the website. Check the website, and there is like some for focus on work, like urgent assistance to women and children who unfortunately for now are refugees, like actually psychological help, which is also important, and arranging some centers for conducting group sessions with children who was like evacuated, and also individual help for families. And the like most interesting actually part is this how to say, this top. You can find like many children's stories. It's really hard to read them, but if you want to learn more how children saw this war, see this war, just learn the story. They are like short one. You can check this and read more. And next slide, and next organization. Okay, I guess for this organization I will tell shortly. It's because we actually have this, we'll have the guest speaker from this organization. It Teach for All. It's a global initiative, and this initiative, maybe someone of you hear already about it, because there is like 61 branches organization, and one of them is in Ukraine, which which name is Teach for Ukraine. And for now, Teach for Ukraine focus on like two main priorities. It's like continuing support children with support children's mental health, and another it's create some conditions for children studying even during the war. And here you can check website, and you also can see that Teach for All helps Ukrainian children who was evacuated abroad because of like this network. So because Teach for All is also represented in Poland, in Romania, in Slovakia, in Bulgaria, Lithuania, and unfortunately there are so many Ukrainians refugees, children's refugees, and this organization help Ukrainians. Next slide. Oh, I guess it's also from me. There will be like from my point of view more optimistic one. I will show you. Yeah, this slide dedicated to children who actually help Ukraine to win. And do you remember like some in previous session we told you about some initiatives where foreigners or Ukrainians abroad create some fundraising campaign to help Ukraine. But in this case, even small children, even little children, help Ukraine. For example, 7 years old Sophia she collects some. She paints some pictures, and she collects fund to armed forces of Ukraine. And also in this picture you can see like "Glory to Ukraine" signed. Also, like these children, they sold flowers on the streets, and they also help Ukraine. These guys from Odessa, which actually also south of Ukraine, which located, Odessa is located in south of Ukraine. These guys, Evgenia and Matvey, they selling own like toys, and here is like flyer: buy toys, help soldiers. And also here is a story, like many story. For example, Solomia's performance in Dnipro region, like street performance, and this little girl collected 11,000 hryvnias. And for this money, she bought like one bulletproof bulletproof vest, like bronzelet. Yeah. And even like 5 years old children helps Ukraine. For example, this girl, she makes some bake some cakes in order to help Ukrainian army. Like, by the way, these cakes, they cost only 2 hryvnias. I don't know. I don't know which part of dollar is, but it seems for me it's like 1 or 2 cents. I'm not sure, but it's a really small amount. But she did it, like, even it means like for she even a small amount takes actions. Okay, Oksana, it's your part. Yes.
Yes. So now I'm going to share with you some information about Ukrainian refugee children and also my personal story, since I work with Ukrainian children here in Italy. Basically, when the war was launched, my first desire was to come back home in Ukraine to my family. But I knew that it wasn't very wise thought, so I started to search for some job opportunities to help Ukrainians being here in Italy. It took some time, but finally I got the job in the local NGO here in Milan on the position of linguistic and cultural mediator for Ukrainian refugees. The important part of my job is not pure translation, but basically building a bridge between the social workers and the people who arrive here in order to meet their needs and create a supportive environment. For the last 2 months, I mainly worked with children. So now I will give you some general information and also share some personal insights I got while working with these children. So according to the United Nations Refugee Agency, around 10 million Ukrainians have been forced to flee their homes since the Russian invasion, full-scale invasion on 24th February 2022. This is around 1/4 of the entire population of Ukraine. So 1/4 of our population cannot live at home. They had to leave their homes. Many of those people fled to other regions of Ukraine, while over 5.7 million left the country, which is without any doubts the largest humanitarian crisis in Europe since the end of World War II. Due to the martial law enacted in Ukraine, Ukrainian men cannot leave the country. So the vast majority of the refugees are women and children. According to UNICEF, this is the data on April, 4.8 million of Ukraine's 7.5 million children, so more than half, were displaced. with 2 million haven't left the country. Of those, an estimated 1.9 million are of school age. What concerns Italy, since this is the country where I live and work, as of the end of May, more than 120,000 Ukrainian refugees have arrived since the beginning of the full-scale invasion, including around 40,000 refugee children. This is the data given by Luigi Di Maio, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Italy. So many Ukrainians have been temporarily hosted by ordinary Italian families. Others are being sheltered in reception centers. The Italian government allocated significant funds to help Ukrainians with accommodation, healthcare, and livelihood support. Many Ukrainian refugee children are being enrolled in Italian schools. Still, they face a lot of problems, including language and cultural barriers, and also psychological traumas related to what they have gone through. My job is to assist teachers to support these kids in the most effective way, taking into account some very specific issues that might arise. Next slide, please. So here I put some pictures taken at one of the schools I worked recently. The teachers and Italian pupils, they prepared some posters to welcome Ukrainians. For example, in the first one, you can see it's written pace, which means peace in Italian. And also on these hearts, you can see benvenuto or lasciavo prossimo, which is welcome in English. Then on the second picture, you can see like the small poster, it's written like, would you like to be our friend? So they greet the children in this way. And the last picture is called Pace in Ukraina, which means peace in Ukraine. So children are calling, Italian children are calling for peace in Ukraine. In one of the schools, moreover, that I wanted to mention, the children even learned a song, We Are the World, We Are the Children, and sang it the first day the Ukrainians arrived to welcome them to demonstrate support and solidarity. Of course, there were also some sensitive situations that I would like you to know. For example, at one class, the teacher with the children painted a poster with the Ukrainian and Russian flags and wrote something like, we stand for peace. While I do realize their good intentions, one Ukrainian refugee girl, she just burst into tears. This was the reaction on the image of Russian flag, because for her, this flag symbolizes murder and death. So it's very important to pay attention to such things, since these kids who went through hell, they are extremely vulnerable. Next slide, please. Here, you can see some activities we arranged for the kids at schools. Due to the language barrier, they are not able to actively participate in the discussions during the lessons. Thus, we arranged some particular activities for them where they can relax a bit, have some fun, but also learn the language, the Italian language a bit. But still, it's not that easy. Next slide, please. Here I put some pictures from our art therapy sessions. As you can see, the kids often draw our Ukrainian symbols. Even unintentionally, they tend to use like blue and yellow colors while drawing something. On the left side, yeah, there are paintings from, no, on the right side. Okay, on the right side, yeah, there are paintings from one particular session. I asked the children to draw their biggest dream. On the first picture, you can see our Ukrainian flag and the symbol of our state. Here's the one that is always with me. In Ukraine, currently Russians kill for this. Then in the middle, there is also the flag and it's written peace and we are strong in Ukrainian language. Finally, the last picture, you can see it, it's on fire. Actually, this is the Moscow on fire. It's written there in Ukrainian. They may not understand much, as you see, but they do understand who offended them, who separated them with their parents, with their fathers, brothers, and who brought death to our land. And the biggest dream of this child is to see Russia on fire. This is not normal. I know this, but this is a reality. All of these children are traumatized. I worked recently with one boy who didn't talk. He just couldn't. He constantly drew himself hiding in the shelter and dead bodies around and the rockets. And there were moments when he started just to imitate the siren, the air alarm. That was everything that we could hear from him, just this. Also, last week, I worked with the 13-year-old girl. She's from Kherson, the area, the city which is currently occupied by Russia. She told me how was her life under occupation, how people she knew started to just disappear, how scary was the evacuation, taken that Russians shot the evacuation convoys and not everyone survived. They survived. Many of people she knew, they didn't. Many of people that she knew still live under occupation with constant fear and hope. The hope that the world will not forget about them. So as usually, we are asking you to not forget those people and break the hopes of our children to see their loved one alive. So that's all for me. Danka, what is next?
Yeah, actually, for now we have like two short slides. It's already known if you are not new in our session. Here you can find some ways how you can help Ukraine. There is a list of organizations to which you could donate. Some of them actually helps Ukrainians children. You can check. Also, we call you spread information about war in Ukraine in your social media, sign a petition, block Russian goods, and report Russia propaganda. And here you can check actually the news in English language about war in Ukraine. It's all independent media and it's really reliable media as far as we know. And for now, yeah, as we promised or as we announced, we have guest speaker, Mykola Overchenko. Actually, he is a teacher in Kyiv region, Zhukiv school. Besides that, he is a member of Teach for Ukraine. As I mentioned, the Teach for Ukraine is a part of international global network Teach for All. And actually, Oksana and me was cooperating with Mykola in order to conduct our project as a part of UPG Sustainability Leadership Program, but unfortunately because of war we can't do it. Yeah, so the floor is to Mykola and I will stop sharing and Oksana will help us with translation. Maybe, Mykola, are you here? Maybe you could shortly introduce yourself for the beginning. Mykola, привіт, ти тут?
Так, привіт. Я все всіх вітаю. Мене звати Микола. Я навчаю для України глобальної мережі Teach for All і викладаю в Київській області.
Короткими реченнями, бо я так не запам'ятаю, не перекладу. Окей? So, my name is Mykola. I am a teacher of the organization Teach for Ukraine.
Викладаю в Київській області, в Вишгородському районі.
I teach in the Kyiv Oblast, Vizhgorod region.
Історію і громадянську освіту, і є класним керівником 7-го класу.
So teach history and civil education, and he's also класний керівник. How to say that? Like
tutor, mentor.
Yeah, tutor. in one of the classes. You can do it on your own, Mikola. You don't need me here to translate.
Я для того, щоб просто я не збивався.
Mikola has just finished his class, so he was really hurried to our session. It's true. I know it because I checked this.
І моя школа знаходиться біля військового містечка Десна, куди нещодавно прилетіла російська ракета і загинуло більше 100 людей.
His school is located near the military town Desna, which recently was shelled. And скільки людей ти казав?
Трошки більше 100.
More than 100 people were killed.
Так само наша колега Teach for Ukraine, вона загинула в Харкові від російської ракети, тому що була волонтеркою в Харкові в своєму рідному місці.
Also, the colleague of Mikola, she was killed in Kharkiv since she volunteered there. This was her town.
Їй було 22 роки, і вона була дуже амбітною. Вона зайняла срібло на Європейській олімпіаді з математики серед дівчат.
22 ти казав, так?
Так.
She was 22 years old. She was very smart, ambitious girl. She took first and second places, right, on the Olympics of mathematics in Europe.
І зараз мої учні знаходяться по всьому світу, і вони дуже сумують зі своєю школою. Але на даний момент вони не можуть повертатися, тому що там немає гарантій безпеки. Тому що це недалеко від білоруського кордону.
Now the children from Mikola's class are all around the globe, and unfortunately they cannot come back because there is no guarantee of safety, because it's not that far from the border with the Belarus.
І наша програма займається «Навчання для України». Ми працюємо зараз з такими дітками, які постраждали від бойових дій. У нас є програма, у нас є проект, який називається «Освітній суд» з Світовим банком, де ми відновлюємо доступ до шкіл, які зруйнували, до освіти, дітей, які зараз не мають можливості навчатися, то наші викладачі, паралельно інші викладачі, вони долучилися до цього проекту.
Currently, the organization Teach for Ukraine worked on a project in collaboration with the World Bank, which is aimed at supporting children affected by the war. So they're trying to renew the access to education for these children.
Деякі партнерські програми, у нас насправді невелика когорта, у нас 26 людей, 2 наші партнерські школи зруйновано.
There are not many.
Вщент розбиті. Бородянка, Макарів.
Around 26 persons. 2 of the schools where they worked are completely destroyed by the rockets.
І наші колеги, наприклад, я з Бердянська, і зараз моє рідне місто окуповане. І мої батьки зараз на окупованій території.
Also, Mikola says that he is from Berdyansk. This is the town in the south of Ukraine, and currently it is occupied by Russia. And his parents are there on the occupied territory. Тебе є зв'язок з ними?
Так. Час від часу він з'являється.
Okay, so sometimes he managed to get in touch with his parents.
Ми насправді намагаємось акцентувати свої сили для того, щоб працювати. У нас будуть зараз літні табори для дітей, які постраждали від бойових дій на Заході. Ми зараз активно до них готуємось.
Currently, the organization is planning to organize different camps for children affected by the war in the western part of Ukraine.
І наші вчителі, насправді, деякі постраждали дуже сильно, залишилися без житла, без школи, але вони все рівно акумулюють свої сили для того, щоб працювати на перемогу. І це насправді дуже сильно мотивує працювати далі.
Also, many teachers here at the organization, they have their homes destroyed, their houses destroyed, their schools destroyed, but still they accumulate their forces in order to work, in order to do something, and it motivates a lot.
Сана, вимкнений мікрофон.
Я вже договорила, давай. Тепер ти.
Але ми усвідомлюємо всю свою відповідальність. Отто фон Бісмарк сказав, там, де програє вчитель і священник, туди приходить ворог. І зараз ми намагаємося акумулювати всі свої сили, щоб ворог більше не прийшов туди.
But they do realize all their responsibility. Otto von Bismarck said once that where the teacher and the priest loses, the enemy comes. So they do understand that they are doing this the important job right now. Я все.
Я в принципі теж все сказав, які проекти в нас зараз є, які ситуації ми зараз знаходимося. Якщо є якісь питання, я готовий на них відповісти.
I have like short question. Could you explain how do you work with children offline or online? How was it on the beginning and how is it now? Зрозумів, так? Як ти зараз працюєш з дітьми?
У мене пропадає зв'язок.
Окей.
Після коли почалася війна, в нас 2 тижні були канікули, а потім ми працювали в дистанційній формі. До минулого тижня і діти пішли на канікули. Війна війною, а канікули з розкладом.
So at the beginning of the war, they had a kind of vacation. Then they switched online, and then they have vacation again because okay, we have the war, but the vacation is always scheduled. Basically, that's it. And if you have any question, so feel free to ask Mykola since he's here. That's the problem that the connection is a bit unstable, but we will try to cope with that.
Є піднята рука, ніби я просто погано бачу.
Yeah, Miyaki, I think that you can just intervene.
Okay, thank you. I thought I also understood Mykola in Ukraine. I just wanted to get in, immediately before Oksana interpreted. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Mykola. Thank you so much for the work you're doing. I'll tell you one thing. I even say this on forum. I have never seen a people so cheerful like Ukrainian people. I don't know how you guys afford a smile when the war is going on. Mykola is just coming from class and he's so happy and he's talking about how his parents are in the occupied territory. So that's amazing. I just want to ask a question about the children. Thank you so much for the work you're doing. I'm asking about the psychological well-being. As their teacher, how are you seeing them? Are they asking you questions? You have monitored them before the war. How are they during the war and balancing their studies? Thank you so much.
Зрозумів, так?
Я зрозумів, але акцент дуже, підправ мене, будь ласка.
Дивися, питання було про те, як діти, вони ж психологічно травмовані, як ти з цим справляєшся? Як ти справляєшся з навчанням цих дітей і при цьому з тими травмами, які вони всі мають, і це нормально, що вони всі їх мають.
Як, власне, діти на це все відреагували, що відбувається в країні?
Насправді, для моїх учнів це якась комп'ютерна гра, і їхня свідомість, вона не сприймає те, що відбувається, що це відбувається реально. І дитяча психіка, вона працює так, що вона це просто ховає І тому мої діти десь ще поруч з батьками, і вони відчувають себе в безпеці, і ми намагаємось якось їх підтримувати.
Many of children, they do not perceive what is going on as their reality. So they perceive it as a kind of computer game or something. They just refuse to admit what is going on.
Ну, звісно, це страшно, але мені здається, страшно нам більше за дітей, ніж дітям страшно від цієї ситуації. І вони підтримують нас, а не ми підтримуємо їх більшою мірою.
That it is scary, but it seems that the adults are more scared about children than the children are. So basically, the children support them much more than they support children. Some kind of inspiration or something.
Так, тому зараз діти пішли на канікули і дуже тішаться з того. Тому для них зараз літо, і Київська область час від часу є повітряні тривоги, прилітають ракети, але зараз канікули.
So currently children are on the vacation. Of course, in Kyiv Oblast, in Kyiv region right now, it is still shelled sometimes by Russians, but still it's summer and it's vacation, so they try to enjoy their life as far as they can.
Тому ми всі віримо насправді, і те, що нас підтримує, це віра в нашу країну, віра в нашу перемогу. Це нас мотивує і не дає нам такого можливості опускати руки, тому що всі і наші, і мої учні, і я, і мої колеги віримо в те, що перемога буде скоро, і перемога буде за нами, тому що це наша земля, і ми знаємо, за що ми воюємо, за що воюють наші воїни.
We believe in our state and in our victory, and it motivates us a lot. We know what we are fighting for, and we know for sure that the victory is going to be ours.
Я живу біля військового містечка, і батьки моїх учнів – це військові, які зараз знаходяться на першій лінії фронту. Але вони підтримують нас, а ми робимо все, щоб підтримати їх.
As you mentioned before, they live near the military town, so the majority of the parents of the children are the militaries, and they are currently they are staying on the front line, but still they try to support them, and they also receive this kind of support. So all together fighting for the victory.
Я як історик, напевно, можу сказати, що в історії всі війни, загарбник, він завжди програвав. Тому наша війна є священною війною, тому що ми захищаємо свою землю і свої родини.
Looking back to history, the occupant always loses. And we will have this victory because our war is saint. We are fighting for our land. We are fighting for our people. Okay, if there are any other questions, so feel free to just intervene.
Okay, I see Lily's hand.
Am I allowed to talk now?
Yes,
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
All right. Thank you very much. Hello, Nicola. So good to see you here, and thank you very much for sharing. You know, when you start talking, it reminds me, I actually have one dear friend coming from Ukraine as well. Her name is Nika, and she will be joining us by next week because I really want her to be connected with Oksana and Danka. She actually shared this picture. This is actually one of her friends, also in Ukraine. So she told me that her friend is very brave, and I cannot bring myself to ask her how is he doing, because what if something happened and I just cannot bring myself to ask that question. And to hear from Mikola mentioning that one of if I'm mistaken, one of his friends died, like I believe deep down inside his heart, it's actually aching, you know, just to mention that, you know, it's someone that you know. It's not just you mention like numbers, but it's someone that you really know. Okay, so my question to you, it's pretty much also regarding education and the children, with everything that is going on, and you know, of course, and I believe with the victory for Ukraine. However, the trauma, the pain for the children especially, it will take time for them to heal, right? And it will take time to bring them to the new normal. So according to your perspective, how optimistic are you to actually make this one pull it up together? And how do you see with the children of Ukraine moving forward, right? Maybe post-war, right after the war. Thank you.
Зрозумів?
В мене пропадав зв'язок, тому, будь ласка,
Отже, питання було стосовно психологічних травм, також які мають зараз діти, і от твій прогноз. Як ти думаєш, скільки часу це займе для цих дітей, для того, щоб вони змогли жити нормальним життям, якщо це нормальне життя можна якось уявити?
Ну, звісно, такого життя, як було до війни, його вже не буде. Це залишиться в пам'яті моїх учнів назавжди, але просто згодом вчителі, ми будемо працювати над тим, щоб це було менш травматично.
So according to they will never had the life that they had before. So this war changed everything. But the teachers are gonna do everything possible in order to make their learning process, studies process in the most, how to say that, less traumatized, you know, like that.
Thank you, Leila, for your question. So do we have any other hands, any other question for Mikola, Danka, Oksana? All right, thank you very much, Mikola, for joining us today. And thank you, Danka and Oksana, for another wonderful session.
Микола, тобі дякую за те, що ти до нас приєднався. Дуже приємно було тебе слухати.
All right. I just want to add my thanks as well to Mikola. Thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you do. I didn't catch the age of the children he teaches. Oksana, did he say that?
7 клас чи ні?
Так, це в мене 7 клас, і я викладаю в старшій школі, в хай-скул. Це 9, 10, 11 клас. Це вже такі дорослі діти.
Тобто це починаючи з і до 7 класу?
Ну, до 18.
Скільки?
До 17.
16-18 років. Це класи, в яких викладаю я, а там, де я класний керівник, це 13 років. 13-12 років.
Okay, so he's a tutor in the class where the age of children is around 13, but also he teaches history and education in the high school for children aged 15, 16, 17, like this range.
All right, 13. That means they know what's happening.
Микола, це означає, що вони знають, що відбувається, ці діти, правильно?
Так, вони знають, але вони знали, що таке війна, коли ми розглядали, але вона для нас була в підручниках історії, на уроках історії. А зараз все, що ми вчили, воно втілюється в реальність, але це в жахливу реальність.
They know what the war is. They learned about the wars, lessons of histories before, and now they see it in the reality, in the terrifying reality.
І наші уроки зараз виглядають дуже нагальними, тому що зараз все, що робить Росія на території України, це вона вже робила. Вона намагається це зробити ще раз. Але і ми викладаємо зараз, я викладаю зараз історію на прикладах, які були раніше.
So their lessons, the lessons of history are now seem more relevant. because what Russia is doing right now, Russia already did before. So basically, he gives the examples to children of what was going on before and what is going on now, because it's all, we have already seen that.
Thank you so much. So I guess maybe in one way, it is easier for Mikola, because if he was dealing with children that are 3, 4, 5 years old, then he would have to think of what to tell them. But at 13 and 15, you can talk about history and make a connection and they understand. So maybe it's easier. But I have a question, Mikola. Do you sometimes have to choose between being optimistic and being realistic when you speak with them? Do you sometimes have to choose? And if you do, can you tell us how you go about it?
Микола, таке питання до тебе. Коли ти спілкуєшся з своїми дітьми, чи доводиться тобі в деяких випадках вибирати між тим, щоб бути оптимістичними чи бути реалістичним? І в такому разі, який вибір ти робиш?
Я, напевно, роблю оптимістично-реалістичний вибір. Тому що ми розглядаємо це на прикладах, усвідомлюємо, що це буде важко, і історія нашої країни, вона вже важка, і буде важко, але ми розуміємо, за що ми стоїмо. Ми і мої учні це усвідомлюють, що зараз відбувається. Вони не живуть в рожевих окулярах, вони розуміють цінність, яку вони, їхні батьки сплачують за це все.
So Mikola takes this optimistic, realistic approach with the children. So basically, he says that the children realize what is going on. They all realize that this is not going to be easy. That this is this is going to be bloody. Or they also realize the value of what is going on now. They know the history. They know that at a certain point we'll basically get our victory.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Family, final chance. Any questions for Mikola or even Danka or Oksana related to today's topic? Final chance. Obviously, we will all be together next week and you can still talk about children next week. Okay? But if you did have a question today, here's a final chance. Anybody? Just use the app and raise your hand. If not, we can bring our session to a close. Katongo, you got the microphone.
Okay. Hi, Mikola. Can you hear me?
Yes,
yeah. Okay, yeah. I heard him mention that for some kids, they just take it like it's a video game and not accepting reality. So my question is it okay to let them just live in that thinking that it's just something that's imaginary, or is it best to let them know exactly what is going on?
Зрозумів питання, так?
Оксана, чи ти будеш перекладати мені українською? Я просто зараз сиджу біля метро, і тут в мене...
Я просто не знаю. Окей. Значить, питання було таке, от ти до цього згадував, що деякі діти, вони сприймають це як відеогру. І от вона питає, чи це нормально, на твою думку, чи от лишити їх в оцій такій трохи відгородженими від реальності, чи краще все-таки от казати, як є? Що ти думаєш з цього приводу?
Настане період, коли ми будемо говорити про це і казати правду. Ну, ми не будемо приховувати від наших дітей, від наших учнів і казати їм неправду, але всьому свій час.
So they're not gonna hide the information and not tell the truth to the children, but some things need some time. So the time will come when all the aspects of reality are gonna be perceived by these kids.
All right, thank you so much. I believe we can bring this to a close. Thank you, Katongo, for the question. Thank you so much for today's session. as always, I want to come back to our Ukrainian family to ask if you have any thoughts you want to share as we prepare to close. By the way, before we do that, can we show Mikola some love? I'm not sure we've done that yet. So Mikola, we're just showing you some love. If you can look at the screen, you should see.
Зараз на екран ми всі тобі показуємо сердечка. Ми всі тобі показуємо нашу любов.
Thank you. Thank you. And bless you for what you do. Even in peacetime, teaching is God's work, even in peacetime. And it's definitely much more. I heard your comment about what happens to communities when the doctors and the teachers leave. You're spot on. So thank you for continuing your work in wartime. So thank you so much and bless you. So Mikola, if you have anything to say before we close, you can. And then of course, Oksana and Danka, if you have anything to say before we close, you can. So I don't know who wants to go first. Mikola, do you have anything you want to share before we close?
Микола, ми зараз будемо закінчувати. Якщо тобі хочеться щось сказати, щось відкоментувати, ну, будь-що, то можеш це зробити зараз.
Я дуже дякую за підтримку нашої країни. Я дуже дякую за те, що ви цікавитесь те, що відбувається. І я запрошую після перемоги вас всіх в Україну. І ми познайомимо вас зі своїми школами, зі своїми учнями. І я думаю, що це буде скоро. Дуже дякую вам за підтримку.
Thank you very much for your support to Ukraine. Thank you very much for the interest you have to what is going on in our country. And he kindly invite all of you to visit Ukraine after our victory to meet the teachers and the children. And he believes that it's going to be soon. We also believe in that.
Amen. Thank you so much, Mikola. All right, Oksana, anything you want to say as we wrap up today's session? And then Danke.
Actually, for me, it's a bit difficult today to comment because the topic is so, I feel a bit stressed out with this topic. I know I work with kids on my own, but sometimes it's too difficult to, you know, to voice the things that you already know. So I don't know what to say. I'm just thankful for this session and for what you are doing for us, for Ukraine. And yeah, that's all I can say today. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Danka, you got the mic?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. As I usually say, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, as Mikola said, for interesting in this topic, interesting in what's going on in Ukraine, and like special thanks for Muhaki, who stopped in chat. I want to hear about how war in Ukraine affect children. You do it not once time, but I guess more than twice, or maybe 3 times. Thank you for the idea. And guys, we continue to provide this activity. Next activity will be in 16, if I'm not mistaken, of June. So we are welcome. But Ugochi already shared links when you can register. And one more announcement on another, like in 2 weeks, we have our special guest. Mikola, you also invited because it's Ukrainian historical, well known in Europe and I guess in world too. It's Yaroslav Hrycak. He will tell more like about historical background of Russia's Ukrainians relationship. And we also later we also shared like Google form when you could put your question. In order we prepared it and showed Professor earlier. And if you're interested in any topic which connected with historical background, if Russia's Ukrainian war, you could also put this in comment. We will share it in forum, and maybe for some of you who I know personally in Instagram or Facebook, I will send you privately. Don't worry. Yeah, so thank you and hope to see you in next meeting.
All right, big thank you. And from me, can we show some love to our Ukrainian family, please? Thank you so much to all of you for the time you take, the effort you go through to prepare for these weekly sessions. It's obvious that it takes time and effort. I don't know if you could see that. I can see that every week, but definitely today you can see the amount of research you've gone through and how much you know about what you're talking about. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to also say thank you to everybody who's here, to our regulars and to the newcomers. Thank you. Please let us come together again next time. As we say, please bring someone. You never know the impact, the positive impact that you will have by bringing someone. There's still too many people who think that the war is just about Russia and Ukraine. Too many people. And that's dangerous for us, because when the time comes, the politicians will react to what they think their people know. So it's important that as many people as possible understand that this war is about us. It affects all of us. The Ukrainians are just the first and the courageous ones who are fighting it directly. If they would decide not to fight, do you think everything will stop? Do you think Russia would not just go after the next country? If the Ukrainians decided to say, oh, welcome, run our country? And if Russia succeeds, don't you think there are other countries that would be taking notes and thinking, oh, if Russia can do that, well, maybe I can do something like that too. We all know countries in different regions that could easily invade a neighbor. And they're watching how the world behaves. So this war is not just Russia, Ukraine. It affects all of us. And anybody you know who thinks I'm a good person, we all know those people, right? I want to make the world better. Well, if they don't know enough about Ukraine, then they're acting like the bad people. Because when somebody invades your brother's home or your sister's home, do you just behave like life is normal? Please. And you can ask any good person you know, if somebody invades your brother's house, do you just go home and watch Netflix? Is that what you do? Or you just decide to switch your wheat order from one country to the next? Is that what you do? Hell no. If somebody invades your brother's home, you show up. You show up. You make sure that they are safe. You at least call the police. You do something. And too many of our brothers and sisters around the world, they don't understand that this war is about us. It's about all of us. As I say, please, let's continue to pray for peace. Let's continue to pray. If you're religious, let's pray that the world can find the courage to enforce the peace. If you've never heard me say this before, the Ukrainians are our brothers and sisters. So are the Russians. But if two brothers start fighting, you have to step in. Or you cannot call yourself family. And right now, the way the world is behaving, we're not acting like family. We're not acting like the Russians are our family. We're not even acting like the Ukrainians are our family. Because if somebody invaded and attacked your brother's family, do you then just arm your brother? No, you don't. Who here would just arm their brother and say, brother, don't give up? That's insane. I will call everybody I know and I will go and attack the invader and stop the fighting. But right now, we're telling the Ukrainians, oh, you're amazing champions of democracy. Hey, here's some weapons. Hey, don't give up. It's not enough. And history would judge us very poorly. For those who think that we are being smart by doing this, what's the smartest argument you've heard? Oh, Russia says, if you come in, there will be World War III. So what? Somebody invaded your brother's house. They are raping the women and the girls, killing the men. raping the children, stealing their resources. And you don't have the courage to step in and enforce the peace as they stop fighting. That is shameful. I'm sorry. No respect for any world leader who doesn't understand that we have to step in and enforce the peace. Now, the other argument you might hear is, well, let's be strategic. Let Russia fight Ukraine so we deplete Russia. That's not the way you act when you're family. The Russians are our brothers too. You don't act for them to be depleted. Okay. You don't act for them to be depleted. That's not the way you act as family. If you do that, evil is what we are doing. And evil begets evil. That's not the solution. Now, make no mistake, our Russian brother is making a very big mistake with what we're doing. So even though they're brothers, our brothers are not always correct. Right now, they are doing something completely wrong. And you can't say because Russians are our brothers, we can't tell them they do something wrong. That's not family. When you do something wrong and people don't tell you, please, you can write this down. If you do something wrong and somebody you think is your family doesn't tell you, that's not your family. So anybody who thinks, oh, I love my Russian brothers, so I can't criticize them, you are not family with them. And if the Russians are clever, they will know that too. When you do something wrong, the first people who can tell you are your friends and family, those who are close. And right now, everything that the Russians are using to justify their invasion of Ukraine are the same things the Ukrainians want. Freedom, independence, peace. So how can you say we Russians want those things so we invade Ukraine? Doesn't make any sense. But right now, it's really critical that those of us who are not Russian, not Ukrainian, we must understand that our role when family members are fighting is to enforce the peace. Close the air, make it a no-fly zone. What do we have defenders for? And for those of you who at least are aware of what happened in Robb Elementary School in the USA, with the police officers in the corridors of the school for 1 hour, while a mass shooter was in a room with children, killing children. Who believes the police officers should have stayed in the corridor for 1 hour? I have not met anybody yet. They absolutely needed to storm that room and stop what was going on. The same way we are watching. Does it make sense for the police officers to pass rifles to the children? Hey, fight back. Doesn't make sense. Now, if you don't have the courage to come in the middle and enforce the peace, then the second best thing you can do is arm Ukraine. But do it quickly. I'm sick and tired of all these stories of American long-range weapons coming. I mean, for heaven's sake. It's not a picnic that's happening in Ukraine. Get the weapons there fast. There should be no hesitation. The British are moving fast, that's good. The Germans are dilly-dallying, that's not good enough. History will judge all of us very poorly. But we, as ordinary people, we need to spread the word. We need to make sure more people understand that this war is about all of us. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And people are realizing this slowly. They realize, oh my God, this war in Ukraine is causing the cost of fuel to go up. So maybe I should care about it. Oh my God, this war in Ukraine is costing the price of bread to go up. So maybe I should care about it. If that's what it takes for you, fine. But please care about it. And the solution is to stand up, rise up, and demand that those with the military force enforce the peace. We can't just watch this. Sending arms to Ukraine, you know when we do that, people are still dying, right? Every single day there's war, Ukrainians are dying. The only way you can stop them dying is to enforce the peace. By enforcing the peace, it doesn't mean we have a solution, but at least we stop the dying. All right. Thank you so much. Those are my closing thoughts. Obviously, like many of you here, I'm very, very sad to see so clearly how children are being affected by this. But we mustn't be traumatized to the point of inaction. Never. All right? Every week, we learn about things we can do. So even if it's as simple as liking and sharing somebody's post on social media, go out there, like and share. If you can write your own post, write your own post and use hashtag United for Ukraine. If you want, hashtag enforce the peace. Let's get the message out there. And if you know good people, bring them here. You never know who the good person you know knows. So by bringing one person here, even if they just sit down, you never know what they'll absorb. You never know what good you will do. Please, let us continue to be united for Ukraine. I'm going to play the national anthem to bring this to a close. Once the national anthem is played, as promised, I will play Or You Lucy, that song, but in different languages. So German, French, and English. All right, but that's after the national anthem. So let's get the national anthem so we can formally close. Thank you so much. You're invited to stand with me if you want to. So thank you. All right, thank you so much. All right, other languages will follow. Auf Deutsch. German.
Einst in voller Pracht die Ukraine, grad so sorgenvoll. Rot will einmal wieder die Kalina stark wie nie erblühen. Und in neuem Glanz die Ukraine, hey, hey, wieder aufrecht stehen. In the meadow there a red Kalina has been bent down low. For some reason, how glorious Ukraine has been worried so. And we'll take that red Kalina and we'll raise it up. And we, our glorious Ukraine, shall, hey, hey, rise up and rejoice.
All right, I put in the Zoom chat the link to this version with all the languages.
cette fleur rouge, la Kalina, pourquoi baisse-t-elle sa tête? Elle était splendide, l'Ukraine. Pourquoi cette tempête? Elle fleurira encore, la Kalina, pour l'éternité. Et dans toute sa splendeur, l'Ukraine est ma sœur relevée. Oh, Yulusi, czerwona kalina, pochyliłaś ja.
Ось наша славна Україна зажурилася, а ми тую червону калину підіймемо, а ми нашу славну Україну розвеселимо.
Bravo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next time.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. So good to see
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Danka. Thank you, Oksana.
Thank you, Amy.
See you next week.
Thank you for your passion, girls.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to see you all. Bye. Oksana, thank you so much. So good to see you.
Hey everyone. Bye everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for
Thank you
coming.
for the whole
Bye.
Hey,
See you next
Katongo.
week. Hi,
the
Amy.
baby.
That's my son.
Yay! How old is he?
He's 3. Beautiful.
All right.
Oh, he's so cute.
Oh.
So cute.
You look alike, Katongo.
You're prioritizing the important sessions online for him to join. Well done.
Thank you, Amy.
Really, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Great seeing you all.
So nice. That's very
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for coming.
Kalina.
Katongo. Maybe your son can grow something.
Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Yeah, bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, Zarina.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mihaki.
Bye-bye, Julie. Juliana, that's you coming in as Julie.
Amy.
Hey, fella.
What?
Shalom is from
You want to see my friend?
Child.
You're from?
You want to see my friend?
Please. Are you have a child with you? Oh!
Wow. Dog. Wow.
We call fellow monkey man. He's Christian. Such an amazing guy.
Judith, do you have two? Oh!
That's Kira.
Oh, Judith! Adorable.
Yes, Yemi.
Kira, come.
Oh, that dog is beautiful for real.
Wow. Say hi.
Wow.
So many people.
Wow.
Judith,
That's a
is
cute
you-
dog.
Is yours a boy or a girl?
It
Boy.
would be like a dog conversation.
Yeah.
So,
He's probably wondering why you're always joining these Ukraine events, right? He's like,
The dogs
what's
are for
happened to me?
Ukraine.
He is. He is. What he's saying is, how come you get to hang out with them and I never do?
Hello.
What?
Help us.
hello.
Hello. Anybody have any other friends in your room you want to show us? Judith, what's your dog called?
His name is, you'll appreciate this having gone to school in London. His name is Jammy Dodger.
Oh!
That's a nice name.
Love it. Bellum, what's your dog called?
This one is Kira.
Wow.
You said this one. So there's another one?
Yes, and this is him, Siku.
Siku.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh, Siku is
Siku is like evening, right?
no.
Wow.
What breed are they? They look like huskies, no?
Yeah, Bella, what country are you
The
in?
breed is Alaska.
Bella, what country are you in?
Kenya.
In Kenya, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
We are with my happy, smile child.
Excellent, excellent. But Siku, what does Siku mean?
Siku means Kira. Kira is woman ruler. Basically, Siku means the dog.
All right, thank you so much.
But Jamie, you are right. Siku in Swahili is night, day, yeah? Siku, a day.
Yes, I thought there was a connection there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Yemi,
Yes, Judith?
get your membership team to contact me.
I know. Ugochi, did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, I already told them. So apparently there was a bit of a hold up. For all of you who don't know what's going on, Judith is joining the UPG community. Can we show her some love?
Wow.
Welcome.
Wow.
Oh,
Judith, I'm so happy.
And for those of you who are not part of UPG, join us. So much happens here. And where everybody else is silent, we find a way to do something. So thank you, Judith. We can't wait to formally welcome you to the family.
Love you all.
Love you. All right. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.
Bye bye. Nice to see you.
We had you.
Thank you
social
so
calendar.
much.
Bye.